New Year's Eve might be done, but it's a brand new week in NXT. Let's talk about it. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of HCW Show Squared. This is episode 22, I think. That's 4, but 22. As always, of course, I am Dan, DP, or as we all say, DPZ, yeah. And yeah, before we get into anything, I just want to give a shout out as well to everyone who does subscribe to the channel, who does put us on our social medias, my independent Twitter as well. You know, you guys are great, honestly. But again, I also always do my usual spiel. Above me, well, not right now, but they will be above me. Is our social medias for the channel, as well as my own personal Twitter underneath. So if you feel so inclined, please do give us a follow. Every little helps on our way towards our goals. There we go. But yeah, without any further ado, let's just kick into things really with NXT. So, NXT for the 9th of January, we are just off New Year's Eve. This is a brand new month on the road to Vengeance Day. Things kick off though with a backstage segment. We're in the parking lot. Nikita Lyons is jumped by Blair Davenport and they fight backstage in the parking lot, which cleverly then breaks into the arena. So, good filming. And just like that, we're into our first match of the night. So it's Blair Davenport and Nikita Lyons. Blair wins with a knee strike to Nikita's head. I previously called it the Kamigoye. It's not the Kamigoye because the Kamigoye is more like a hold your wrist and I'll bring my knee forward into you, whereas hers is just more of just a straight knee to the head. I rated it 2.25 stars. I didn't want to rate it that low. It was just a short match. Like, Blair's great. Nikita's alright, but Blair's great. And it went like 5 minutes. Like, I don't know why it's so short. I would have liked it maybe if it was like a stipulation, like a street fight or Full Sail Anywhere, something like that, so they could start outside and fight outside and then make their way inside. That would be cool. But yeah, it's weird. Ultimately, Blair gets a clean win, and I don't see a way that these two can continue this. I mean, they will, but I don't know how they're going to do it. Before I get going any further, let's change the screen to that. There we go. That's the one. Fred is still there. I meant to change that, but that's still there. Anyway, back to the thing I was talking about. Yeah, it was an average TV match, honestly. They will face off again. There'll probably be a stipulation attached to it, like a no DQ, Full Sail Anywhere, street fight, etc. I find it hard to look at Nikita as a serious competitor. This is going to sound weird. It's because of her martial arts background. And I know there's wrestlers in the past who've come from martial arts backgrounds that are really good, and ones that are currently around that are really good. It's just because the way NXT's filmed, the way NXT's presented, it's like, hoo ha, ha, hoo. And it's like, look at me, I can do karate. Look at me, I can do judo. And it's like, that's cool, but is that all you can do? And then that was sort of what the key to shtick. It was like, hey, look at me, I'm bigger than the average woman, but I can do karate. And it was like, okay, cool. What else can you do? We're still finding it out now. But yeah, Blair on the other hand is a more serious character, more serious heel. She needs something more than this. I know the whole point of developmental and the story is building and building and building to get a certain point. But ideally she needed to feud with Lion Valkyria. That was where the story was. Like, at least until Vengeance Day, like you have like a 2-month build for that. Have a match at New Year's Eve. Lyra wins by a fluke or like a roll up, something like that. And then Blair's pissed off and Blair wants to face her again. And then, boom, Vengeance Day is we have a rematch. But no, we are on this weird Nikita Lyons feud. I don't know what's going on with that. It will end soon, I assume. And I have no idea after that. Anyway, backstage, we run into Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. Trick is not pleased about Carmelo's actions from last week when he ran in on Trick's match with Grayson Waller. But Carmelo basically says, hey bro, ignore that, because guess what, I've got some good news. that he's managed to swing himself and Trick the last spot in Dusty Rhodes Tag Classic. Trick's not entirely on board with this, but Carmelo's comment about people calling him two-title Trick gets him on board. Carmelo would actually also need to win the tag belts to become a Grand Slam champion in NXT, which is weird because I thought him and Trick had already won the tag titles, but maybe not. So it's some time I didn't watch NXT, so maybe. Anyway, moving on though. Speaking of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Classic, it's time for a first round match in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Classic. We have Gallus, Mark Coffey, and Wolfgang against the makeshift team of Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin. Of course, Baron and Bron win after a spear from Bron and on Wolfgang and an end of days on Mark Coffey. I rated this 2 3/4. It's a simple story. Two competitors don't get along, seemingly seem to win. That's it. I will say though, despite their disagreements, it's petty. It's quite trivial. It's not big like other ones. Like this is just a simple case of like, hey, I want to tag. No, I want to tag. No, let me hit my finisher. It's very trivial. It's not as serious as like, oh hey man, you cost me that win. Like that's always like the crux of it, like, oh, you're meant to be my friend and you're meant to support what I do, but we're not supporting each other and yada yada yada. I'm gonna beat you up now. Like this is different. It's a different kind of trivial thing. So if it's something that Sean's doing with booking, I don't know. It obviously this is week 1 of this new thing, so we'll see how it goes. Another thing, though, is that it came at the expense of an actual team, and that's something that I wanted to pick up on. You'll see here, the graphic, I'll put it on the screen, of all the teams in this. And there's none in this tournament that are quite as established as Gallus. I'm not a huge Gallus guy, okay, but I used to watch NXT UK, where they were a big part of that. Even NXT, like, before the rebrand, like, they were a big part of that as well. Like Gallus are one of those teams, let's say, that are established to the point where they shouldn't be losing in the first round of this. There's other guys in this tournament like Edge's NFA and Manic Blade and LWO, for example, who shouldn't necessarily be in this tournament. And LWO is not because they're not good or anything; it's because they're SmackDown. They're not an NXT team. They shouldn't be in this. But yeah, it's I don't know. In regards to what's next, I don't know. I assume they're going to make it to the finals. Baron and Bron. I have no idea if they win it or not. I expect them to break down and fail eventually. So I think they'll probably fight a Vengeance Day. Because they'll probably break up at the final. Or after the final, I should say. But yeah, moving on. It's time we go to the ranch. So, get your clothes, get your farm clothes, get your farmhand clothes, let's go. Get your rake, get your barrow and everything. Fallon Henley is with her farmhands, and they're waiting for Tiffany Stratton, who arrives late. She's in full pink gear. Like, she's in, like, essentially wrestling gear. It's really weird. But yeah, she's wearing a hat, high heels. She's not prepared whatsoever for the farm. The smell hits her instantly. She can't stand up straight. She refuses to wear the clothes that Fallon has for her already, which is like typical farmhand clothes, like a coverall or like for some reason a checkered shirt. I don't know why they're like specifically those shirts, but those ones. Fallon then talks over the responsibilities of the farm for the day, and with each one, Tiffany is having like near seizures. Like she's frantically like waving her arms about. But we'll come back to this later because it. The way NXT does things, don't give us the entire thing in one go, you spread it out throughout the show. Speaking of those people I talked about earlier, it's Lyra Valkyria. Lyra's here to talk to the people. She brings up Glenn Report, who she beat at New Year's Evil. And she asks, who's next? Who knows? But next week, there's going to be a 20-woman Battle Royal, with the final 4 being part of a Fatal 4-Way. The winner of that, though, becomes the number 1 contender for Lyra. She's then interrupted by Lola Vice, who's backed by Elektra Lopez. Lola reminds us that she still has her breakup contract. Lyra is sick of Lola's talking, so she insists that they have a fight, and that she put the title on the line, and then that's her contract used up there and then. Lola seems to be on board until Elektra attacks them. So bear in mind, Lyra gets a ref out, by the way. She's like, get a ref out and we'll do this match. And you see a ref run to the ring. A ref is running to the ring, and then Elektra just attacks her. So yeah, justice for this guy. This guy right here. But look, as they're attacking Lyra, Tate and Paxi comes in and makes a save, and then making quips like, we're meant to be together. So nice little like throw in there to maintain the character. Anyway, backstage, Metaphor are joking around about the splitting up of Brooks and Jensen. But in comes Josh Briggs to demand a Heritage Cup rematch because he got screwed out the last one, apparently. No one denies this, though, on the ground of DQ. Fair. Briggs then settles for Oro Mensah, who steps in No Man's place. Up next, we had a travesty. We had a breach of just everything that NXT stands for. In fact, bear with me a second. I'm gonna go get someone who might be able to help with this. Bear with me. Yes, get in there. What do you mean scared? No, get in there. Tell him. Tell him. Yeah, yes. Hello. I've been told by DP to explain that. Hi, I'm a lawyer. I've been told to explain that Luca Cosafino's actions and his argument is valid due to WWE subsection 387.B.2. Other than that, I'm not too sure what he wants from me. Okay. Laws and by snatchers explain that if your foot's under the rope, it's illegal to count the pin, and that is what's happened here. So Luca is absolutely correct, and this is a abomination of justice. Is that good? Okay, I'm getting thumbs up. That's good. Okay, bye. What's that? Whatever, man. You know, you really let yourself down. You let the family down. He's meant to be the lawyer. You're meant to be the lawyer. This is why Tony went down. Bloody camera. Let's hit that again. Alright, okay, we're back. No, we're not. We're back. You see that? What was that, man? Anyway, after that travesty, Dragon Lee's here, and his issues with his visa are all cleared. So, all good, he's back. Lexis King pops up magically with a contract for him to sign to fight in the main event. Cool. Dragon Lee signs it. There we go, back to the ring. Josh Briggs and Oro Mensah. Briggs wins with a lariat. 1.5 stars. It wasn't much. It sets up Briggs for the match with Noam Dar, and that's about it. It's something. Mensah plays like the role of the gatekeeper with Metaphor. Like if some guy comes to Noam Dar, is like, I want to fight you, Noam Dar. He's like, no, you fight me first. And then it's like, okay, I beat Oro Mensah, now I'm going to fight Noam Dar. So that's sort of how it works all the time. I don't see much progression for Oro Mensah in his role. I don't see him being much more than the gatekeeper. He could leave the group ultimately, and that might do something for him, but I don't know. Anyway, we go back to the ranch now. Fallon is at the ranch, of course, and it's her first set of tasks that Tiffany's done. And now it's time for the next task, which is washing a horse called Buttercup. Just a point, by the way, Buttercup is gorgeous. Like, gorgeous horse. So I'm going to shout out. Fallon, not Buttercup, says that she's done, but Fallon says the job's not done yet. They go to a stall, which has clearly been set up with the most amount of mess in there for Tiffany to clean up. It's trivial, and I enjoy the pettiness of that. And Tiffany even a pink rake, so thumbs up for that. We go back to the ring. Then we have a match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. So the family, Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo, defending as OTM out the mud. Bronco Nima and Lucian Price. The family win and retain with Tony's forget about it on Lucian Price. It's basically a Perplex or Fisherman Suplex. I rated this 3 stars. It was enjoyable. There were doubts after that 4-way tag at No Mercy that these two were good. They've been carried to a good match by the other 3 teams, but they proved here that in a singles or tag 2-on-2 tag match, there we go, that they still have that they can perform. They still need that performance that breaks them out, like really that shows that they're a great team. But that'll come in time. You know, developmental brand, developmental teams, developmental people. It makes sense altogether. Overall, though, this was a nice stat pad match for them, for the family to get a defense on the books, and OTM put up a good enough challenge. So good for them. OTM could well be a top team in NXT in a few years from now. I wouldn't say right now, but a few years from now. Anyway, backstage, Jessie Jane is rallying the female students of Chase U. Those eagle-eyed of us Chase U attendants will notice that Maddie Rinkowski, who is the newest signing to WWE, is part of the student base. So there you go. Then we get an interview now with OBA FEMI. OBA claims that every superstar will crumble and that he's backed by destiny, so nothing will stop him. In comes Lexis King to boast, but also actually praise OBA FEMI. He's got a contract, and so does Lexis. Lexis claims that he's the next North American champion, and he puts the idea in Oba's head that Oba could be a future world champion, a future NXT champion. However, Oba FEMI does show interest in the match between Lexis King and Dragon Lee, so yeah, he's got his eye on everything right now. Backstage, still, Gallus now are pissed that they lost earlier, but in comes Ridge Holland. Just mind his business. He literally comes through the door and walks away. Joe Coffey, though, calls him out, gets in his face, and then these two do not seem to like each other. So we're going to get a match with them two soon. Moving on, we have Cora Jade and Gigi Dolan in a match. Cora wins with Jaded. I rate this 2.25 stars. Again, it's 2 stars. It's weird. It's so short, these matches. I don't know why. Like, I don't know what the plans to do with Gigi or with Cora, but you know, these are 2 higher profile stars on your roster, and you've got to compete in a 4-minute match. This is not the late 2000s. You know, this is not the mid to late 2000s. You know, this is not that. Yeah, I mean, it seems to be that Cora's in line for a title shot at some point, but you know, recent events at a house show would say otherwise. She's currently injured, I believe. Moving on. We have the other first round match in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Classic. We had the team of Tank Ledger and Hank Walker against Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Axiom and Nathan win with a Phoenix Splash from Frazier onto, I think it was Tank. I rated 3 stars. The team of Nathan and Axiom are a good team. They're a nice team. They're sort of like superheroes, which I think is the main aspect of them. Like, they're meant to be like this, you know, dynamic duo. Yeah, it makes sense given their booking as well. Like, they're gonna go and face Braun and Baron, so I'm assuming they're gonna lose now. But after I said this, who cares at this point? Decent enough match for quite a short time as well. Now we're off back to the ranch again for the final part of this. Tiffany is at her absolute tipping point, and she cannot seem to take much more of this. She completes the task set, which was emptying out the dirty stool, and then protests and tries to leave. But as she's leaving, she steps on poop and falls into a tub of water. Yep. Uh, like apart from that ending bit, this was great. Like the absolute clash of cultures and the chance for Tiffany to actually do some hard work for once. See how the other half live. Um, Fun stuff. It was a little corny for my liking, but it was fun nonetheless. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. Backstage, Edris and Ope and Manic Blade are ready for their Dusty Classic match, which is next week. And they're tired of all the talk about Carmelo and Trick. But that will change soon, allegedly. In comes Brindley Reese, strangely enough, who's got like a training program for them to build their abs. And then in another weird move, both men were like, "Hey, we've got abs. Look at these abs." And it's like, "Cool." And it's just like, "Okay, cool." And then she walks off saying, "If you need a program, let me know." So I guess that's Reese's gimmick now. She's going to be some sort of fitness instructor. Your main event, though, was for the NXT North American Championship. Dragon Lee, champion, defends against Lexus King. Dragon Lee retains with an Operation Dragon. I rated this 2.5 stars. It's strange to see a mediocre match from Dragon Lee. Maybe it's because of the opponent he was facing. Lexus is struggling to find his feet here in NXT, and he's just not enjoyable to watch. He's alright as a character, but in ring he's barely basic, Dragon Lee's great, and there's only so much that he could have done though. And that's the end of it. That is the end of it. And no, it's not. Wait a second, because OBA FEMI catches in his breakout contract. So we're not done yet. Your actual main event for the NXT North American Championship again. Dragon Lee defends against OBA FEMI. And FEMI wins with a powerbomb. I rated 3/4. It was literally about a minute. OBA FEMI wins. The following week, after winning said breakout tournament, he wins the North American title. Lee put up a fight, but ultimately it was not enough. And, it was booked the way cash-in should be booked. You cash in, have a minute, less than a minute match, 10 seconds, it can be anything like that. Like between a minute and 2, I'd say, is probably the optimal amount. Even 2 is a bit too much. Maybe like a minute 30. OBA seems to be getting a push here, like a big push. Like he's been in the company for like, I don't even know, like a month or two, and he's already holding the secondary title. So it's an interesting booking he's got there. But yeah, it makes you wonder as well. What makes me wonder about what's happening to Riley Osborne, who is, of course, the guy that OVA beat in the Breakout Tournament's final. He's currently in the Tag Classic with Duke Hudson. So, will he win that? Who knows? Anyway, pleased about OBA. Dragon Lee's probably going to head to SmackDown to be there more permanently now. So, thank you, Dragon Lee, and we move on. And that was it for NXT, for real this time. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It felt a bit more like a tuna show. Main event even fell flat for me. Like the best match for me of this night was, I think it was the tag title match, 3 stars. It was, yes. Yeah, 3 stars for that. Yeah, this is just the middle of the road sort of show, and we're on the road to Vengeance Day now, so all we can do is just wait. But yeah, until then, I will bid you adieu. I've been Dan, DP DeBreezy, and you've been watching HCW Show Squared. Remember to tune in next week, and we'll cover more NXT. And if you've got any suggestions for any weekly shows that I should watch, or perhaps add on to this, because I think I've taken Rampage off, so maybe I can slot something else on. Who knows? But yeah, until then, I've been Dan, and I'll catch you later. Peace. Before I continue, actually, let me just go ahead and do this. That's not correct. I should have checked that. Why is it like that? What happened? There I am. Okay. Let's just restart that.